My name's Frank Boyd. I'm the director of the Creative Industries Knowledge Transfer Network. Snappy title. Does everyone in the room know what the knowledge transfer networks are? Does anyone in the room not know what knowledge transfer networks are? Okay, for the purpose, I'll just briefly explain. There is an organisation called the Technology Strategy Board, which, frankly, is currently the government's strategy for growth. What they do is invest in and support innovation in order to try and grow the UK's economy. And they do that across quite a wide range of industrial sectors in response to what they perceive as being challenges in the economy and challenges for growth. They work with 15 knowledge transfer networks. Because they're working across a range of industry sectors, they need to have a mechanism for talking to specific groups. So my role running the Creative Industries KTN is to act as a channel of communication for the Technology Strategy Board, advising them on where the needs are in our sector, and also then to work with the Technology Strategy Board to promote their funding programs, of which there are many. And there are 15, at the moment, there are 15 KTNs across healthcare, the modern built environment, and other sectors, right through to rocket science. We, in the Creative Industries KTN, are currently working really with 4 key themes. One is convergence, which is now such a widely used word, it's almost useless, like the word innovation, really. What we're talking about there is convergence, in some cases specifically within those sectors of the creative industries most affected by digitization. We have, the Technology Strategy Board has a competition running in that area at the moment, which is for feasibility studies. The challenge, which is going to be opening next month, is around the development of tools for cross-platform production. These are for feasibility studies. They're grants of up to around £56,000 as part of a project of a total budget of around 75 grand. If any of you are working in that space, if you are perhaps working with the Digital Fiction Factory up here in this region, or are working in the games industry where you're looking at developing tools so that you can create platform, so you can create content and experiences that goes out across more than one platform at a time. It might be a game with a TV show or a mobile application. Please do take a look at that program. We're going to be doing an event in Manchester formally to launch that next month. Our second theme is around user-centered design, which I think is one of the key kind of drivers of innovation, actually, not just in the creative industries, but across every sector, that actually if you don't understand user need, if you don't understand human behavior that you're trying to create products and services for, the chances are that you won't succeed in the market. So one of our key themes at the moment is to try and generate and develop tools and understanding for user-centered design, not just within the creative industries, but across really every sector that the TSB is involved in. The other 2 themes, which are very closely linked, are to do with finance and investment and business models. The lack of investment, specifically in the creative industries, is something that I think is talked about a lot. I mean, obviously it's difficult in every sector in the current economic climate, but there's always been a kind of failure of nerve, I think, when it's come to investors looking at creative businesses and trying to understand their business models, trying to understand rights-based business models, and so on. It's one of the, it was identified by the CBI last year in their Creating Growth pamphlet as one of the most significant barriers for growth in the creative industries. We are very happy to be working with Uday Fadka, who's curated today's event, as our associate, what we call a theme champion on this topic of finance. And the idea of these riff stream events, which are this is kind of, which are currently in a beta phase, I would say. This is the second one we've done. It's, I think, already we've learned very much from the event we did in Cambridge last month and have changed the format. I think Uday's done a fantastic job of getting a very interesting group of people into the room. The purpose of today really is to look at how we can begin to try and bridge that gap between people who have money, whether they're corporates, whether they're angels or VCs, or in the public sector, or wherever they're coming from. Bridge the gap between the people who have money to invest in projects and in businesses and the businesses in the creative industries, mostly SMEs, very many of them micros, and how we can bridge that gap. So I hope that you'll find the day very useful. I hope there'll be a lot of opportunities for networking. I think at this point what I'll do is hand over to Uday to drive the process forward for us.
Thanks.
So, okay, thank you very much for coming.